You guys there? Minute late. Oh boy.
Hello, we are live. Can you hear me? Index SQ, are you there? We are live. And we're on. We're pirating. Let's play. Index, you are unmuted and I hear you clicking around, so say something.
I know you just went live.
Yep, we just.
Then you did no intro.
Pirates do.
Uh,
Maybe we should spin it back and play the.
I was getting ready to do the loading ship there, but that's okay. At least nobody's watching, but Drew from Web3.
Perfect, Drew. What up? I'm about to unmute SQ so we could hear some of his background noise also.
Jesus Christ, what a way to start.
Yeah, I mean, this is what
I had the whole thing ready to like queue up all nice. I was gonna do the loading screen while I waited for you guys to show up.
I panicked.
I was backstage, muted, cooking chicken.
And then Mike didn't even know how to add himself.
This is what pirates do. We just show up and do shit. All right?
Yes.
Like, sorry.
Where are we streaming? Should I drop this somewhere? Do we have it in the chat? Do we have it on? I'll send it out from Little Nouners.
I really want to get a pair of nice headphones and a mic and go on Twitch from now on and just start Twitch streaming like Sloppy last night. It was inspiring.
So I looked at it. So Twitch is more of a like how he had it, right? Like, so I think it is more of a singular thing. You have to kind of work into the multiplayer situation. I think it was like, oh, you could use Zoom and then stream the screen on Twitch. You know, that was like one of the solutions.
Gotcha. We got to figure that out though. Like, we should at least think about it. But anyway, let's kick off. Let's play Little Nouns. And
we're kicked.
Let people know.
I think we're kicked off, kind of. We didn't do an intro. Should we like run it back, pretend like we didn't start?
I feel like we should probably just like put the ship up on there.
Fix it in post.
Fuck it.
But the intro is a little bit old, but we'll play it anyway.
I mean, if people haven't seen it before, I feel like they want to see the intro.
It's only 40 seconds, so let's pretend we didn't just do this.
Is that it? Is it the Price is Right soundtrack?
No. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right, that's more like it. Oh wow, starting again. All right, it was just going to keep going, wasn't it?
No, actually, you know what? You might have been right because I accidentally hit loop earlier because I had the idle. So even I screwed that one up.
Hey, you know, we all make mistakes, and that's what happens when you're playing Nouns live, right? We've seen people even make mistakes with their voting in the past, you know? That'd be fun to get live, like us just casting the wrong vote or something.
It's happened. You always wonder until it's you, and then you're like, what'd I just do?
And you're like, oops, did I just hit abstain?
I check mine like 3 times, especially on like the Nouns or Little Nouns website. When you go to click on a vote, I guess at Littles it's not that bad because usually there's only like one prop to vote on. But it kind of like hides the actual vote, that like the prop that you're voting on, so you don't really know when you pull up that screen.
Oof. All right.
If that happens to you guys, I don't know.
Do I just share this, the StreamYard.com DFN7UZ2NXP link?
I mean, I guess you just kind of shared it, so.
I did? Did I?
By saying it out loud.
That doesn't.
That one is the behind the scenes one. I shared it in Littles, so if any Littles want to hop on, they can. But for StreamYard, there's like the behind the scenes one, the backstage one, like what we're on, and then it broadcasts out to either, you know, whatever platform you want, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. And so that would be more of like the public facing share thing. So if you guys wanted to stream to Twitch, you could still use this and then just have like a Twitch window on the side to chat with people and stuff.
I think we have a Twitch account.
I am live on my Twitch, but you know, there's like, I don't think there's anyone there. I usually pull up the YouTube account on a side window and maybe comment here and there.
Yeah, YouTube's what I usually watch.
None of them are really great, but that could also just be because there's only a few listeners. But most Twitch streamers use something called OBS, and it's a little more powerful, but it takes a lot more upfront work.
Yeah, that's what we're using on the lo-fi stream, if you remember.
We're on Twitch, huh? Is this right now? Baffled Loco? Somebody trying to sell us something? Look, we've already got some sales inbound sales.
Sick. Love it.
Promotion of our channel, viewers. Maybe later. We're pirates. Pirates steal. Maybe. Okay, hold on. I'll be back.
Yeah. Make sure you mute though. All right. So I don't know if you're seeing my screen right now, but we left Index and Panda on an island. We stole their pirate ship. Bixbyte's coming up. Hold on. Bixbyte, you have been added to the stage. We're just breaking down the show here. And where we left off last was we left Index and Panda on an island, visual scene. But we're coming back. We just wanted to quickly head over to the island. We saved Pike, the snowman, from Dr. Dune. And Dr. Dune has actually had a change of heart, and he is hopping on the ship with us. So we're bringing him down here. We're putting him on the ship. He's going to ride in the front. It looks good up there. And we're going to try to get a delegate and get some sponsorship to get our prop up on chain. So we need to pick up the guys because, you know, Index is a noun. We need him. And he's the art master.
I'm definitely not the art master, but
you are
yeah,
the
I don't know.
highest selling artist out of our whole crew. So you're definitely one of the greats, the masters in the Web3 world, they might say one day, right up there alongside Gremp.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, we definitely are like still on the island, I guess. I don't know. Last time Panda and I checked in, we were queuing up for a finale. We kind of did part 1, never did part 2 of the finale in true Let's Play fashion. So I don't really know where we are, but reevaluating, I guess. I don't know. Is that the right word?
I just flipped this whole thing and flipped the words too. It's incredible. Yeah, I guess reevaluating is good, but
I feel like the show is too good to just ever have a finale, right? Like it's just ongoing. It's just not ever going to end.
I know. And until then, we're just going to fill it with these garbage shows of us leaving the volcanic island, flipping our words backwards. Oh, pandas. Oh, my
Wow,
Lord.
there he is, the
And
master
we've
himself.
arrived. We have arrived at the island, and Panda and Index are back on the show. Yo, what up, Panda GM?
GM.
Welcome back to the ship, sir. We literally just turned the ship around, and as we got back to the island, you hopped on the stream. So it was like perfect timing.
GM, yeah, honestly, I was watching on YouTube, and I don't want to change the trajectory of the course here. But yeah, love what you guys are doing. I'm just going to kind of watch y'all play.
GM, bro, welcome back on the ship. I'm going to put you guys back on the boat.
I mean, if you think about it, like,
What are we thinking about?
Yeah, we're thinking, but what is it about?
This fucking boat's thick, though. We got to pick up Cardno, though. I don't know where he's at. We're going to have to find him. He's being replaced by Panda right now. Sorry, Cardno. Well, we need to pick him up for the prop, I should say. So yeah, Panda, I'm not even sure if you've seen the prop. Bix, you have. You're a little upset it's not going to Lil Nouns. What do you think about the prop? What edits should we make? I'm not sure if you've seen the most recent iteration of our prop, but that's kind of the next stop for this ship. We are thinking about throwing up a couple more edits on the proposal. I don't know if I just switch screens, if it's going to show that. Is it? Nope, it's not. But I'm going to switch screens. Let me see.
which was Suprio. You know, he said kind of like, what does success look like? And, you know, if you're relying on minting to bring back revenue, you know, minting is kind of, well, it's interesting because he said minting is kind of like the one-of-one market has fallen flat. But I would have to say I almost kind of disagree with that, right? Because it's like the Yellow Collective launched today and, you know, they have like 4,000 mints. So I think when you onboard audiences who possibly are artists who already have audiences, I think that's like the key, right? So I don't know, I'm super supportive of it. I want it to go to Littles.
Yeah, thank you. That was actually some of the feedback. I actually talked to Superior and DMs a little bit before this call. He was definitely supportive, just had some questions and wanted to make sure that everything was like straight before the prop went up, which definitely super grateful of. We chatted back and forth for a bit. I explained the program a little bit more. I'm not sure if Borg is listening right now, or Pipe rather, but something he wrote in the chat, I guess for the guys the other day, really stuck out and was a good explainer of like the intention behind the program. So we have some things to kind of add in here and some things to edit. I think we're going to kind of change this whole top section here to just kind of get the TLDR through like immediately, make sure people understand like the 4 aspects of the program like off the bat and how it's all going to work. So SQX did a good job of kind of rewording some of that before. So we have some changes in this doc that I'm going to edit. We're just kind of going to put like a new graphic up here possibly also first. And we have a couple other small changes, something we're going to change down here in the minting section. But I think we're pretty much going to leave it as is and try to get this on chain. The thought was we get these edits live. I thought Pipe was going to be around, but he must be in the bottom of the ship right now still.
Are the floating noggles back? I mean, that's number one key, right?
Well, the floating noggles aren't back yet, but I definitely have some alpha for you on that. I don't know if maybe we take this off course for a minute, pun intended, but I definitely have a couple things I'm working on. Let me see. Yeah, so Bix, are you looking at the screen?
Yeah, yep, I can see it.
So I started this like more of like a generative art project with the Noggles now, right? Like, so I want to kind of release a mint, like some HTML mints and stuff that do these and do like all different patterns and are kind of like infinitely changing, and the background's kind of like shifting colors and stuff. So they'll kind
Oh
of like
yeah.
shoot across the screen. It'll be kind of like just, I don't know. I don't want to compare it to anything that's like super awesome, but you know, I'm sure you've seen other generative pieces of art that are kind of similar, where same color schemes, you know, same like kind of color palettes stick, but like the patterns will change over time depending on how wide your screen is, or just if you refresh, it will be like a completely different pattern. And it's not infinite. Like eventually they'll like stop. So if the canvas is much smaller, they'll kind of stop sooner. But they kind of build up these like Noggle patterns. So I think I'll probably just like save the repeating Noggles or something like this. But yeah, we have some other versions too where like they're kind of like pulsing in and out, like the ones you really liked.
Yeah.
Let me share one.
But yeah, I think too, just a thought like on your guys' prop. I think what's important too is to really highlight the fact that, you know, like when a nounish artist comes into the ecosystem, what's cool is they actually kind of like stick around, right? So all the people that were onboarded from, you know, the PPP program and all of these different things, it's like they stick around and they also participate in other parts of the Nouniverse, right? So it's not like someone just comes on to Littles. It's like Kimmy, she's done work for tons of different other like Nounish projects besides just Littles, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you're onboarding artists into the community for the community.
Yep, exactly. And that's a big thing that SQX really wanted to actually work in here, but we didn't put it in because it's like we're gonna make an artist section, right? And we did kind of say that, but we want to take that a little bit further in the future and make it like a bridge for artists to connect with communities and for people to hire Nounish artists. Like you kind of like come here to artistprogram.org, and like, you know, when you go to the artist page, it's like people that have been tapped in, that have been voted on, that have like successfully delivered artwork, or they wouldn't be on the site. And like you can likely trust them. It's almost like a noun stamp of approval for artists in a sense. So I see people like wanting to be a part of the program just to have that stamp of approval also, and to get a little bit of ETH and funding to kind of do and be a part of something fun.
So could you, and I don't know like the technical aspects of it, but I know everyone, like a hot keyword everyone's loving are those attestations. Could you add some type of like attestation where basically like what you just said, if people are on the website, they get some type of whatever, like whether it's like a soul-bound NFT or something, so that way you know.
Nogs,
like,
baby. Nogs.
Yes, I know the Nogs, but I'm saying it needs to be like a attestation that this person is a Nounish artist.
Well, we're giving them each a token specifically when they join the program after they've delivered their first piece of art. It's like, then you get this voting token, and that token allows them to vote on the next body of artists and forever. So I think that token can maybe represent multiple things. It's kind of
but
that.
what is the attestation? Is it like a specific?
Oop, you cut out there, Minipix. Maybe you want to say that again.
It's hard to explain, and much like a DAO, it would move, but it's like a DAO without any. I don't want to say without any power, because they definitely, like, after the first round, the directors is what we call ourselves in it. So, like, really, we're only there to prevent maliciousness. Like, really, it's set free. I mean, we lose voting power after round one. Like, we select the round one winners, but after that, I mean, it's quickly spun out of our control. And in a good way, by design, right?
Yep, we no longer select artists after round one. It's a body with us. Obviously, we'll still be helping select in round two and round three, but we'll quickly be,
And so the attestation, I guess like what Mike was saying, what's the best compliment would be to be voted in by your peers. And so hopefully this is a body of peers that is voting in new peers, artist friends, to be honest, I don't know. We, some of it we want new people. But I was talking to Mike earlier, across Twitter or X or whatever, like artists, top tier artists, mid tier artists out there looking for commish, looking for some side gigs. So I don't know, depending on how far we reach, and the Nouns itself reach is very large, and so 100 artists sounds like a lot when you say it, but really could be overwhelming.
What did you say, Bex?
Oh, I said it, like 100 artists sounds like a lot to try to like onboard, but when you're building something that's going to kind of like snowball, it can happen really quickly. Like when people are referring their friends and they're telling, you know what I mean? It's like all these artists.
If every winning artist refers 2 friends, we're already max capacity.
Yep. And I think it's honestly going to not be hard. Some people think it's like a low amount of ETH, but
now this is something that I find interesting. Whenever there's a incentive involved, right? Like money. My concern is okay, if I'm an artist and I was chosen in round 1, what if I don't want to onboard anyone because then I might not win round 2?
You're only allowed to win once. Only 100 tokens will be given out. Like you could come in, and I think it's written in here, like you could have another artist, you could be that guy. But again, we're there to, like, we don't have the specific DQ principles, but like that's what we're there for. If we see the exact same guy, different artwork, DQ him out. And the other thing, the attestation tokens, I want to make them revocable. So if there is some shenanigans that go on down the line, we can revoke them and then they no longer get to vote. Because really that's, I wanted to do like a soulbound, because I don't want them to have value other than voting.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to have to vote either. So like that also, the 5 voters do have that fallback responsibility to be there every round. So at least there is that type. That's the most we can guarantee. Yeah. Diversity or whatever. And that's just, unfortunately that's how it is. We could have, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fun like experiment that has been like tried and true, right? So it's not like it's something completely new. It's like you guys tested this out already. The PPP program was a success. So this is like an experiment on like scaling and modifying a little bit, but it's something that you guys have already run and had success in.
Hey, Bix, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
So actually some feedback tonight was just from one person, and not one way or the other. Oh, hold on. Fries is coming onto the stage.
I did want to say real quick, Bix brought up Fries got tossed in the fryer, man. That's some hash brown. You had a good point though. Like if we're onboarding these new people, right? Like let's say we bring a new artist on and they're not crypto native, and it's not that hard. It's actually not that hard to probably get an artist to mint, right? Like especially like you can mint with an iPhone or whatever, you can take a picture, whatever.
Yeah.
How do we get their fan base to mint?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my buddy Pavel, he's an actual like artist, like legit artist. He's been commissioned by what?
I said we want him.
Yeah, like he's been commissioned by like Dana White to do like UFC
cool.
Like stuff. Like yeah, he's really, really dope. And I all the time I'm like, dude, why aren't you dropping an NFT collection? Like, let's get you on chain. And he just like kind of like rolls his eyes and laughs, and he's like, Caitlin, you always say that. He's like, it's too much, it's too complicated. I don't want to have to learn all this stuff.
Yep, and we're gonna help walk people through that. We already all
Yeah.
have at least one or two. I've got 4 or 5 people IRL that would love to apply for this. They go, dude, you give me a chance to get my first bit of like Ethereum and crypto. They didn't say Ethereum, they were like crypto. They're like, I will 100% do this. And like, we're talking like photographers, stop motion designers, like just literally illustrators and artists, and like I think like I'm going to be able to get at least 3 to 5 people from IRL to apply that aren't even in the Web3 world. So I think like this is a big opportunity. We're going to like specifically ask people to like try to onboard people into the space and let this be their first experience, and like their first experience in like governance and like voting for other people. And we'll try to make it like low effort for them, which in the future we plan on bringing this a little bit further and developing like contracts and stuff like that. These guys have like big plans for like CCO contracts and all this stuff that like I honestly don't understand, but I'm sure you would love to hear from SQX and Index and Borg on like why these things are super important. But we want to get this to be like an automated program in the future that kind of lives off of like a perpetual source of revenue based on like the fees from mints. And yeah, right now a lot of people are like, well, that adds up to like nothing. But like imagine when you have 1,000 artists in a program, all their different projects are generating, revenue. And wow, okay, Borg is our Pipe is hopping on. What up, Sir Pipe? Yeah, so some of the feedback, what I was going to say, Vix, was some of the feedback was that we should maybe ask Lils to split the bill with Nouns and to take on like maybe like 25% of the ask, like the admin portion of it, the like 10 of it, and to have us go kind of like co-sponsored prop between Lils and Nouns. It's not a horrible idea. I was just leaning away from Lils and trying to graduate this up. I don't think they like fully knew that when they suggested that we had already sponsored this in Lils for 6-7 months or whatever, 6-7 months. So
yeah, but I just don't really see what, to me, like, what is the point of that? Meaning, because Littles, like if we were going to do it and sponsor it through Littles, it would be little content, right? I don't think it's really fair to ask Nouns, who has like a $17 million treasury, to split a prop for the admin costs when you look at other things that Nouns has sponsored. I don't know. To me, it just
it would confuse the artist on like what to make art for, right? Like what size nozzles specifically, or even if the art has nozzles, because it's not really a requirement here. Like we just want CCO art created. It doesn't necessarily have to have nozzles or a noun in it, which is something we want to kind of make sure of. We don't just want nounish art to get into the public domain or like the public body. We want like all art.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, I think having some type of like nounish aspect to the art, I mean, would be kind of cool, because then the art could also go into the CCO lib as well, right? But is CCO lib just nounish stuff, or is that everything too? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're only putting nounish things. Also, there's all those concerns that we've already like talked about, and we want to make sure that we get in front of. And this is more of like a tapped-in service. It's not just like an everything CCO, obviously. It's like only artists that are inducted into the program, and like something very specific that we hope to like grow.
I think the growth is the key point there too, because we've strategically turned Nouns into more of like a sponsor of this round. We're gonna frame everything as Nouns. We were talking about earlier. We think Nouns should still well, especially once the contract's up, it's going to be hard to enforce before the contract is up, or before we have the contract created. Everything in the program, even once we expand it, would still be going back 10%, which isn't a lot. I get it. To Nouns, so that would be like what we bring to it. And this round, there would be illusion that we would hope for at a minimum some type of Easter eggs, but we really don't want to. Again, it's for artists, by artists. It's freewheeling. Like we'll lean. They'll know it's coming from Nouns. We'll lean it Nounish, but I think we're trying to, at the end of the day, just leave it wide open.
See, okay. I think,
but for it's because now we can take this. So for the growth of it, we don't have to come back to Nouns. We don't have to be, and so we can go someplace else to find the funding for the next rounds.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I think that there should always be some type of like, I don't know. Everyone loves open rounds, but to me, open rounds, even like as a proposer, it's kind of, I'd rather have a mandated round, so I at least know what I'm quote unquote being like graded on. And what could be interesting is I think if you guys looked at the OP, We Love the Art competition that just went on, right? So they were giving away whatever X amount of money. So scale that
four categories, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm getting at. It's like
we were gonna do that. It was gonna be like original prop was like illustration, motion graphics, so it encompassed like animation or GIF, and then or like stop motion, and then like a third round that was like photography, and then like one open round or something. But like we just kept going back to like maybe they should be open so any type of artist can enter in any, and the artists can then like perpetually select themselves in these like open rounds, and we thought that was more attractive. But like I agree, like mandated rounds could work well as also like we get more of that feedback.
I think it kind of like you were saying though, we had it all, and it was cool. It was cool the way we had it. But it was like going to get more complicated. Like for us to continue working on it was going to get more complicated, and I'll just leave it at that. It just was.
Well,
like we were starting to design each individual round within each sector, and then like what would be allowed within the round. So then it became like if the idea, which is this to kind of continue on essentially headless, just with artists voting, and every once in a while money will get deposited into a contract that all these artists controlled. It needed to just be simple and able for the prop house contract to distribute it, or any other smart contract we distributed. Like even the differences in the funding amounts is causing an issue, right? Because the prop house contract can distribute one amount, but then so now we have to distribute a second amount and a token from a separate contract for the after, and then so we can automate that eventually, and we could automate the other, but we had different rounds like 0.2, 0.5, 1, and so it was getting it. This is simpler, and I think it's better. I think it's better like this.
Exactly. We talked about this a lot, and like.
But what are you guys doing to prevent like, okay, now, again, you don't want to assume anyone's a bad actor, right? But there's like different attack vectors that I think you always have to like pay attention to, right? So let's say I'm an artist, cool, I won first round, great. My buddy's an artist, he won first round, okay, cool, great. What are you guys doing to prevent, okay, round 2, the artists get to vote. So now I'm going to create, 100 wallets and submit different artwork, and my buddy's going to do that. And then like, do you know what I'm saying? So this can be gamed, right? Like you can game it. So
people will try, but again, so every token has 10 votes. So those two artists will have 20 votes out of 250.
Yeah, but now you just need
And so they don't need to do 1 million wallets. They only want to vote for one wallet if they want to definitely get one in. So they'd each vote for one wallet, which would only get them 20 votes out of the 250. So that's not even guaranteeing them to get in the top 20. It probably would, though. So then the next round, they would have 3 votes. Maybe they got some buddies in.
exactly.
One,
So
but how did they get
that's what
more
I'm
than
saying
one to
is,
pass?
do you
It
guys
ends up becoming more difficult, in my opinion, to do that. And if it does happen, though, by the time you get enough tokens that it really, really matters, the program's run its course. And we've seen the folly, but at the same time, we've still made the artworks.
Hey, Vix, we also have the opportunity to DQ certain tokens from voting. Like, this is only through Prop House. This isn't a DAO. They didn't buy their tokens. So, like, if we see malicious people,
yeah.
like, we definitely could. But also, we plan on selecting a really great and diverse body on the initial run. Like, we've
Well,
talked.
why wouldn't you guys just be the voters the whole time?
We are. We're the first voters on the first round. We induct the first 20 people. So we are selecting the first 20 people. We will know who they are and who we're letting in, or at least we'll see their art, you know. And on round 2, it'll be them plus the 5 of us. So 25 of us. And then by the third round, it'll be, 45. I don't know if you just cut out, but did you hear that?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it is on us 5 to begin with, and then the 25. So we need to pick a good 20.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. My thing would be just, I would say, why wouldn't you guys just vote the whole time, right? So it's almost kind of like that OP retro round, just over and over and over again, right? Where it's you have these judges.
Yeah, that was one thought as well. Just stick with a pure small grants program, and it's just us giving out money to artists. But we were like, you know what? There's been a lot of talk about like small grant distribution, and we should try to experiment with this a bit and see if we could create like a Sybil resistant body that's similar to a pod, but a pod that grows itself. And like, there's been a lot of talk about all those things. So we're like, this is an opportunity to kind of experiment with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth the experiment, right? It's not like it's $1 million prop that you guys are asking for. So I don't really see the issue. Like, let it run its course, and then just if you notice
it works though, and it works like well, and we get like 100 pieces of art that like actually do generate, like, they don't all have to be gems, right? Like, 1 or 2 could become a gem and like actually hit. Like, people are saying like, we haven't seen mints generate a lot of revenue yet, but like, have you ever done something where there was like 100 mints in a short period of time with like a broad range of artists? No. Like, so we'll see. Maybe it won't hit right away, but like, we'll see if it works as like a distribution and voting mechanism. And then in our next run, we can try to take this up to a different, group to sponsor the program. Always keep it Nounish, always keep it Lil Nounish, but like, ultimately they don't always have to fund it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So
see. Are you guys using what, Zora for this, right? Are you using Bound? Because how is the money going back to the treasury, or how does that work? It's
pretty open right now, which is so yeah, that's the answer. Either we don't have any restrictions. We're for 2 reasons. One, we want to chase all that grant money. We don't really know where it is, so we just figure operating across chains probably in the program's best interest. And the other thing is, it really depends on the artist, and if we walk them through and how easy they think it is.
It's literally this easy. Like, it's so easy.
I know. It was like to be the guy who's never even had a wallet before, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I gotta change networks. I mean, I'm with you, but
what is there any type of okay, so for like OP, you submit, okay, great. Are you guys going to be encouraging any type of, like and retweet this, or like share this post, or like, I don't know, anything like that?
Yeah, we're going to create a social We're definitely going to encourage everybody as part of the program to share. We're going to create a little Discord so we can start helping people and onboarding people.
Could that be part of the submission though, right? Is like you have to, like, even if they have whatever 100 followers, it's still like, I'm just thinking of overall impressions, right? Because it's like, what does success look like? Is success the number of mints? Is success like the reach? Is success the artist on board? Like, I think all of that plays a role into what success looks like, right?
I think success looks like a number of different things. I think for this, success looks like funding artists to create artwork that perpetually, you know, brings in revenue and just creates like a body in this like civil resistant voting block that like doesn't get corrupted by like a group or some shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking like, okay, retro, like OP retro rewards, right? Like, how could this project potentially, like what TNS did, how could this project potentially 6 months down the road win a retro grant, right? Like, just kind of thinking in that aspect.
Just by existing, just by minting across chains.
Yeah.
I think it wins a retro grant simply based on a Sybil resistant body that was able to distribute, you know, like 70K or 80K or whatever it is to artists and fund 100 different artists.
Yeah.
Like, I think like it wins based on that alone. Like, that's the W. I think like the artists themselves are the W, and creating like an actual gallery that like we could feature them all is like a great place for Nouns. Like, Nouns now has featured artists that anybody could go to. We've seen a couple people this week like ask specifically for artists, and they're like, where can I find somebody? And it's like, well, you'll soon be able to find 100 different artists on our site that have all been kind of tapped in and delivered to Nouns, you know?
It blows my mind the amount of times that Nouners like put out open. Like, maybe that's just, I don't know.
Yeah, Seneca's done it like 3 or 4 times.
Maybe they do it on purpose, but
right. Why not just come here, browse the selection of artists, see who you like, and see if they're, you know, hit their profile and hit them up. But now you'll know they also delivered on something, you know, like we're not going to put them up on the site if they fucking rugged or something like that. So obviously.
Well, Clover's up here, and he's supposedly one of Evil's arch nemesis.
Who is Clover?
I don't know.
I didn't get that, but let's not even get into that right now. That guy's bad.
I have no idea what that was, but
That
it was kind of funny.
What is that
So
even?
ridiculous and funny.
Index poked the bear today.
I missed it. How could anyone
alright,
say
it's
anything
alright.
negative
No.
against
Index,
Index?
what time is it in Indonesia right now? Anyway.
So what are we doing? Are we getting this prop up live right now on the stream, or what are we doing?
We're fixing the candidate.
Yeah, and we need a second sponsor, but if we fix the candidate, then we lose our sponsor.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Right. What's the move? Do we just fix it and ask them to re-sponsor? And then do we prop lot it to try to get Lil's? Here's the Bix. We're thinking about the prop lot hack. You got to tell us if it's the move.
Okay.
Do we hop on prop lot because we know whale voters probably aren't watching prop lot? And that if we get them to go through as a Nouns DAO prop, technically that means they'd have to sponsor the prop.
Is that how it goes now?
I don't even think they have to go on chain, do they? I think like it's like we do all Nouns shit off chain.
Right.
Yeah, that would be League of Little stuff, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, if they were going to sponsor the prop, instead they can't sponsor it. We say you just got to sign the candidate prop. We'll say that in the proposal. Hey, since Lil Nouns only has one noun, we'd like you guys to sign the candidate prop as a sponsor of the current version. Obviously, if it changes, the signature comes off. So we would lose it and have to go back up on prop lot again.
Yeah, but if Dot sponsored it already, why wouldn't Dot just tell Adele to sponsor it too, right? Like they both have a noun.
Maybe, but
Adele's under fire, man. Watch out.
But that doesn't matter because here's the thing. We'd also get the yes vote with the noun when the prop goes up without having to vote for it because we signed that into our fucking new documents or whatever it was, right? On prop law, we like made that change. We're like,
I put up the proposal. It passed.
right, and it passed. So that means if we pass it through prop law, we immediately get the yes vote and it doesn't have to get voted on at Lils. It's a fucking hack to avoid the Lils vote.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay.
That's like a no-brainer to me. You got to go for the
Remember,
loophole.
we were sponsoring things and then we would like vote no.
Yeah, that's a bad optics, but yeah.
All right. Pipe, are you there? Can you talk? Also,
Yeah,
Fry,
it was good.
are you around as well?
I want to know where hash browns go. We got fries. We got Big Daddy fries.
Who is Fries? Is it a new person?
Who is fries?
Literally no clue. What up, Fries? GM.
Cheesy fries just got minted as the noun the other day. That was pretty sweet. How are we feeling about these nouns? So, I mean, we definitely, like, local bottoms were found. Without Memium, though, there really is no floor. But Memium comes in and there's buyers above Memium. These guys don't seem like arbors. So they're willing to pay 8.5. They like what Nouns is doing, right?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, what's funny is what is that NFT stats or whatever? The punk on Twitter, they made a few threads about Nouns, and you know, they were like, how are Nouns like trading 50% below BV, da da da, and then some people were like, oh, I should get in. So I don't think that some people. Listen, I'm not going to say that they're not like true, genuine Nouns fans, but I think some people may have maybe reading posts on Twitter and may not understand that, like, okay, you need 30% threshold to trigger fork, and Memium has a large percentage, and you know he probably won't be forking. So,
Well, then Memium's doing his job. His job is to extract the meme value.
yeah,
And he's
exactly.
He's currently found an extraction point. So touche to Meme, because you see what he does, how he goes, he controls the floor, then he just disappears for like 6 rounds.
Yeah, and
it goes down, it bounces up, because eventually it goes down, and like there's those couple guys, Salcian and Nakari or whatever.
Yeah, those are arbors.
Those guys are arbors, and they're currently just buying, and they just flip back into the floor. They're just taking what they get. So that's kind of the dynamics of the DAO right now. And then Memium comes back in and sets the price. What, you know.
Well, what would be interesting is, so yeah, the 30%, you need what, almost like 100 nouns or something like that now. I don't know how many it is, but it'll be interesting as we get closer to that time, because like Wags has never specifically said like, I'm not going to fork anything, right? Like he always says he likes the optionality. And so I
almost did one time, like kind of that, like he implied it. That
well, he said he has a specific wallet which is for his nouns that will never be forked, right? And that's the one that has like Saturn, the pillow, etc. So all the other nouns are kind of like, he just likes the optionality to be able to decide what he would want to do with them. So yeah, I think some people are kind of like maybe playing into that, but
at some point he'll control the vote too. So it's like,
yeah,
he's
definitely.
Born. So he can either fork or not fork, or allow things to pass or not allow them to pass.
Yeah, but what did we see the lowest? The lowest was what, 5 or something in that nature? Like,
I saw low 6s. I don't know if it got to 5. Hold on.
Guys, I'm pretty sure a Somali pirate just pulled up on our ship. Anita, what up? GM, welcome to the stream. You wrote up.
I don't know if that's actually Anita, because Anita's in the YouTube comments, the real Anita. So who knows?
isn't that Wyland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the PFP showed up. I feel like it's an actual pirate.
We got fries and chips.
Where's chips?
I don't know. Chips is down at the bottom. Unless people are just changing their.
Oh boy.
So the low, it got to 6.63. Salos chin. He scooped that up, 7.04.
Can someone get Wyland up here? Actually, I heard he had some feedback on the prop. We want to make sure it's worked in here. Also, Borg, aka Pipe, do you see this? Do you see this note?
The 6.9 scoop. Classic.
69er order, whatever.
69er, 882, the infamous.
Ah, bueno, no entiendo nada.
Oh, hi. So yeah, that's interesting. I think yeah, I don't know. I just want to do like the maths on it and see like if Wags forked, right? Then how much would that drop the treasury, right? Because that's like what the scary thing was, is like, you know, after fork 0, everyone thought, oh, okay, the arbors are gone, right? Not realizing lowering the threshold to 10% was like a poison pill, right? So then between fork 0 and fork 1, it was like we had all this money come in. So you spend the money thinking that you have the money in the bank, right? It's kind of like when you have your bills on auto pay and you think, oh, my bill came out on the 1st, but it doesn't really come out until like the 4th, right? Because of the weekend. So you may be overspending.
You're crazy, Bex.
Yeah. Wow.
No, you make a good point. I just don't want to talk about it.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, that's just like what I
We're
think.
pirates here. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened here. Like, this is not pirate ship talk.
Back to the shipper. We got to talk you overboard, Bex.
You're about to walk the plank.
All right. Back to the artist program. So let's give all the feedback possible. Who did you ask? 40 for any feedback?
Not yet. That was Index's job. He blew it. Thanks, Index.
So what do you think about this, though? I was thinking about some of the general discussions on Warpcast. Where now when there's stuff goes down, Warpcast.
Yep.
And like, why would we want this to be at Nouns versus Little Nouns? And what is just
I think
they don't seem to respect Little Nouns, so why would they want, like, they don't portray respect, so why would they want us to run a program? Like, it's just backwards. Like, if they want, like, the draw of Nouns, everything is bigger and better at Nouns. They are the ones who claim this and scream it from the mountaintops, and they're not entirely wrong. And so the poll and everything, unless the idea is to bring up Littles, but Littles seems so, like, contentious for no reason at all.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I mean, I feel like
Good thing it's not Little's proposing, huh?
yeah. Well, that's one thing, right? Is like it's not Little's proposing; it's individuals, right? Another thing is
it's going to be Littles.
Oh, I know, but it's
Talking about
like people forget Littles, right? Like when Seneca was like, "Oh, I forgot to add in your thing," like I forgot. It's like, oh, okay, so you just forgot the 3rd largest holder at one point in your DAO, okay? And then like today, it's kind of like, oh, I don't see, Nas and Littles as good entry points. It's like, what does that even mean? So, yeah, to your point, SQX, it's like, what does that mean? Does that mean now that anyone who is a Little proposing up to Nouns is going to be just seen as a Little? So it's like, well, why doesn't your DAO just fund this? I don't know.
We'll find out. We're going to find out for everybody.
I mean, I wouldn't think so. You guys got Index on the prop, right? Like that should be like a shoe-in.
he hasn't even read it yet.
We've sullied Index. He's hung out with us Littles too much.
This is the most he's read right here, the yellow portion that's pinned to the screen. He has to read. I mean, come on. He definitely read the pipe. Need you, bruv, part, at least. It's pretty large. Index.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Index is pretty conservative. I don't think he would put his name to a prop that he didn't think would be successful.
Did I put my name to this prop? I forgot.
Index.
You're on the team.
I'm on it. Oh, there I am. Okay. No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm kind of provided some feedback support. I think I've mostly thrown it off course, to be honest, if anything. Gave a lot of feedback and then just walked away early on. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, we just picked you up from the island, so I don't expect you to know much about the prop, but welcome back. Thank you for the early on feedback we took off. We headed over to the volcanic island. We basically gave Pipe the snowman we just totally just put him back on ice in the bottom of the ship. We captured Dr. Dune. We brought him back to Lil's, and now we picked you and Panda up on the island. We got Panda's like in deep thought right now. That's cool. Panda GM, we love you. And now we're headed off the card note to kind of like wrap up the prop and make sure it's got all like the final elements here. But we need the snowman Pipe to finish up this last graphic if we can, so we could update it with the new bullets that SQX updated. And I think we're in a good spot. And then we're going to get that final delegation and we're going to go on chain and roll the dice. But we think there's value here. I think there's more value than, like, to be honest, a lot of props. But,
well, I mean, yeah. So you need Noun 40 as feedback. And then has anyone talked to 4156?
No.
What do you need me to do here, Mike?
We need a final graphic that can we're going to push this GIF down and not have it be like the lead graphic, but we want a lead graphic that comes like right at the top, like after the TLDR, like we have some sort of a graphic here. I was thinking it represented these 4 points, like a quadrant graphic, just like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. But honestly, feel free to, like, if you don't think that's needed because you think this bullet kind of represents that enough, maybe there's just something else you could kind of put up here, and we just don't want them to focus on like the revenue split. You know, we feel like there's going to be a lot of feedback there around like.
I think we should lead with the graphic of the website. I think we should change that. I think the feedback has been at our website.
We can do that.
It looks so boring.
Also, there's that quote. There's also that quote that SQX was throwing around in the chat earlier, like you explaining the program. And I think that's like really powerful. And someone was like, well, why? Like, what's like the point of this? And like you wrote.
That's what I said to Wyland. That was what we pasted in Crystal. He said,
yeah, but it's really good. You wrote like.
Have that somewhere near the top. I would just have that, you know, like the TLDR followed by the website. But yeah, like a nice, more noun-looking image on the website.
What if I just hijacked your prop and then put it onto Little's for you, and just put your address in as the pay address?
Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, it's CCO, right?
No.
Come on.
CCO around here? Nah.
But we got to run the nouns gauntlet. It's going to be exciting.
It's time. We're graduating this forward 4 lows. We're trying to be value up here.
This is the exact problem. I love it when they're going to be like, so what happened if you could be? I'll be like, well, Littles actually didn't pass it, but we won't talk about
I mean, to
You
be
need to fix
fair, that's when all that we were going to be doing was buying nouns. So I don't think we were passing anything.
It was an interesting time. All of it's interesting. That's the beauty of it. That's the also the like littles are active in every part of the entire Nounish ecosystem. And we've participated in almost every governance move that you can possibly do as a noun.
Yeah, that is true. Just reminds me of that quote. It's like, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
I don't know, Borg. I still think we need some sort of graphic up here. Maybe we need to like just put this big quote in like a graphic or something.
Or why don't you just do a nice little skinny banner? Like a little, like it doesn't have to be some crazy big graphic. Just
Yeah,
something,
just like
a
this.
little.
But I just don't want to lead with the revenue split. I think that's
No, lead with like a little banner going across of like maybe different like the artist, right? Do a little skinny banner of the POAPs going across.
they don't want to lead with the POAPs. They think the POAPs are gonna get us negative votes.
It's not POAPs, so it's the fact that you're highlighting different artists, right? So it doesn't matter that it's in a circle in the shape of a POAP. It matters that you're showing different artists.
I thought we said we were going to lead with the graphic of the artist and people like replying to your tweet, like flashing through, showing like the interest. So there just wasn't enough of that in the end.
Like Twitter stuff, the Twitter comments on the post. Let me find the post.
Whose idea was it to go with this 1905 Met Gala old art vibe?
Your boy Borg.
Can we change that? It looks like a nursing home.
And
Like,
Index.
Picked up at the
Hey, I didn't do anything. I think it would look great with some Tagawa art or something like that. That was my advice. Not that we own the rights to Tagawa's art, but whatever that art from that prop I sponsored, that would look really nice on this website.
We gotta
Pop Tokyo. Throw it up there.
we gotta sponsor his prop first, and then sure, we'll throw it up. This is for program artists only. You gotta pay.
I don't know, because in my opinion, like that image and vibe is not at all like what the PPP program was. The PPP program was like nounish artists, and I get it that you guys aren't going to mandate it to be like nouns themed, but
We're
I mean,
creating an on-chain gallery here for artists.
yeah, but it looks like you're trying to like recreate like Sotheby's or something. Like I don't know, it just
Yeah, I think let's put up the Tagawa, like one of the. I wish Fries was still here to know what's in it.
it's got to be modern, hip. It's got to be like
Yeah, so Vix, they think just like put up a piece of CCO art. And my argument is that it associates it too much like that this might be some like random CCO site where we just put up anybody's art on it. Like,
well
and that's
to me
not
that's why it should be, and it I don't know. I would say it has to be kind of mandated nouns theme. To me, it just makes sense. Unless you're building infrastructure, meaning unless you're creating a platform where anyone like what you just said, where anyone can go to and upload, then Nouns is funding the platform. But if Nouns is funding the onboarding of artists, it should be to create nounish artwork, right?
Well,
If not, then why are they paying for it?
Arguable. It's CCO. It's onboarding people into the ecosystem. It's creating nounish artists that are like co-signed by, it's creating.
So then what is Nouns paying for then? So is Nouns paying for the platform to be created to do that? Because if Nouns is paying for the art, then it should be nounish art. If Nouns is paying for the platform, that's different.
Yeah,
right?
sure,
Because now it goes from like a tech prop to like a tech prop doesn't have to have branding, or you know what I mean? It's like Nouns Agora, Nouns Camp. It's not really crazy nounish. You could put whatever on there. But yeah, if the idea is to onboard artists, Nouns isn't going to pay to onboard artists just to Web3. Nouns wants to pay to onboard artists to create Nounish artwork, right?
Yeah,
But what
totally.
Nouns benefits from here is having the like diverse sort of voting body to give out these small grants.
Yeah, but
Specifically
the benefit,
not-
if the benefit to Nouns is to be able to say that 100 artists are on board, right? But if the artists aren't creating Nounish artwork, that's like saying I want to be funded to onboard artists to inscribe ordinals on Bitcoin, right? Why would Nouns fund that? Doesn't really make much sense.
They have funded shit like that though.
True.
Yeah,
Fair point.
But it's not. So it's the program is to, and onboard isn't necessarily the right word anymore. But the program is to fund 100 artists, ideally. Like we said, you could have multiple wallets or whatever. It's going to be a game for some people to make in this season, since people like to use season, epic, if you will, if you're one of those people.
Yeah.
Is to fund the program is to fund CC0 artwork at its present. That may change, but that's where we're leaning at present. And in this season, it's inspired and sponsored by Nouns.
So then wouldn't that mean that Nounish artwork should be created? Or are you just slapping Noggles onto a website that next season you're going to go to Mountain Dew and Mountain Dew is going to be the sponsor, right? What makes this Nounish? Sorry, I'm just I'm going to be like as like
one
that.
would be that 10% in perpetuity kickback. So like let's say we did go to Mountain Dew. Theoretically, if we were at Mountain Dew in the progress with this proposal and project, Nouns would still be getting that 10% of that next season. So they would stay with the program, even though it may not be inspired. So they will get their tithing.
But then if I'm Mountain Dew and I saw that Nouns got 10% last season, why aren't I getting 10%?
Because it's not about.
I know. Listen, I'm just giving you a hard time. I gotta be that one right
we
now.
We wouldn't be getting money from Mountain Dew. Like that's the thing. That's the whole idea of it, and the contract work that will potentially come, and the perpetualness of it. Again, is that you could just drop money into a contract. Nobody would have to run it. The token holders would run it, and it would just go and live.
So then to me, it sounds more like you're creating infrastructure, right? So to me, it sounds like this is going to be some type of CCO artwork launch pad. So maybe frame it as such then, right? Because again, if I'm paying to onboard artists, you want the artists to have to be able to enter into the ecosystem and actually create Nounish artwork. But if it's not the artist that is like the level of success in the art, it's the actual platform creation that you're creating.
Well, this round is more about I'm thinking about the platform, but the art and the artist is front and center in this round. And again, it's inspired by Nouns, but I don't. Most of the artwork is going to be Nounish, you know.
So then why not just make it a mandate and say it has to be Nouns inspired?
We've talked a lot about that, and we think like it is Nounish through like a bunch of different areas besides that. Like we are sure that most people will incorporate Noggles because most people are going to be like super Nounish artists, but like other people might not. Like this might not even be illustrations. It might be music or photography or like other things that are like not like that. We want to first like educate artists on CCO and have them like enter into that. That's very Nounish. 2, we want to give back to Nouns through like a shared revenue source. Maybe it's not a lot at first, maybe it's a lot in the future, but it's perpetual and it's forever. And then we want to create a Sybil resistant voting group for small grants. People have talked a lot about this. It's super nounish thing to try to experiment and create like a body that is domain experts within themselves, like a pod. And we think like those are the three main value props, I think.
Yeah, and to your point, like I get what you're saying, but my goal is instead of like the mandate, right? Like obviously they know where we're coming from. They know who's sponsoring it. They're gonna see the PFPs they're talking to. They're gonna hear us talking. We're guiding them. They already know, right? Like I have these in real life friends too. Like I don't need to explain. I need to explain other stuff. I don't need to explain the Noggles to these people, right?
Yeah. So then to be at this point, then it seems like a scaled down, like
but
Zora
goal
competitor.
is the super organic nature of it. They feel good. It's win-win. And not only do the Noggles make it into this because they wanted it to, or maybe they don't make it into this, but then they make it into, like they get the bug. And I don't want to force feed them.
No, and that's fine. So again, to me, then it just sounds like this is more of like, because when you think about it, okay, like why is Nouns funding this then, right? To me, I would focus more on the platform, right? It's the platform is what you're creating. So it's not so much the artist, it's not so much the money per artwork. No, it's creating this platform to allow people. Like I said, it sounds like a little bit of a scaled down version of like, it's kind of like a Zora competitor adding Sybil resistance governance, right? Which is good. That's what we need. It's perfect.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But yes, next step is update the prop, get Borg to give us some graphic, and to get a candidate. Maybe it's all Nouns, maybe it's somebody else. We'll see. I hear there's some weight swinging around out there, so maybe we'll get a candidate and get it up, and then we'll get some real feedback. Hey, before we end, Drew came up. Definitely wanted to give him some time to talk about his prop with everybody here and the attention on it. So, Drew, if you want to like shout out your prop, give us some info. I'm sure Bix will ask you 100 questions about it. So let's do it.
Okay, so my prop is to build a bus shed for 5 eats.
Bruh. Oh my God.
If that works.
Boss J, out of here now.
Okay, so I mean, let me pull up my prop so I can follow what I wrote down already. Right, so I mean, in here there's a lot of people that already knows me. So what I mainly do on Twitter and in Web3 is create content. And my prop is directly to help the Little Noun shows to grow and scale on Twitter, because we have some great hosts on the show and great guests and a good team working on it. But thing is, we need to leverage all of that to be able to get impressions and bring people into the Little Nouns ecosystem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I think more content, the better, to be honest. I think people making content about other people's stuff is definitely a win. So yeah, I don't know if you want to say more, or if Bix unmuted. I know she's got questions. Let's go, Bix.
No, I mean, listen, I think, the LNS is great, right? And I think that we should be doubling down on that. I think creating additional content is important. I think I don't agree with the feedback that, if they wanted this, they should have included it in their prop, right? Because I think every prop should kind of like stand on its own merit, right? Like, I don't think that they should have had to add in, Milad's website and this, like, because now it would have been, like a 60 ETH prop or whatever, right? And I get it that this is like adding additional cost to the original prop, but I think that it's something different, right? Because it's like we're creating a new type of content. I don't know. To me, I don't think that this should be like an odd chain proposal. I feel like it's too like small almost, right? So to me, this would make perfect sense if we had like prop house rounds, right? Like we should be doing at least 2 prop house rounds per month, and this to me would make total sense for him to, you know, be like doing prop house rounds with this, right? Because exactly, we don't, right? So it's like now we're missing out on a whole bunch of stuff, right? So it's like we got like a 1.3 ETH prop up for SQX, and this is like what, 2 ETH, 2.3 ETH. I don't know. At this point, I feel like why not just pass it and experiment, right? But I do get it. It's just like first prop where it's like, okay, do you try to add some type of social credits so you don't rug? But I don't know. I go back and forth, right? Because it's like it's such a small ask. Like, should it be streamed? At that point, it's going to cost the DAO more to stream it than just give it, right? I don't know.
I think fund it.
I'm sorry. I'm curious to know how on the back end, who manages the stream for the payouts on the proposals?
Nobody. You do.
It's automatic, right? So it just basically would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you had like a 5 ETH prop or whatever, and it was 1 ETH per month, it would just automatically release. But the benefit to that would be is, say you didn't deliver in month 1, someone could put a prop up to cancel that stream. So then it could save the DAO, 4 ETH potentially.
Yeah, the main point is it's cancelable by another proposal that someone else has to put up and vote through by the DAO. Other than that, it's just a time lock stream of distributions that after a certain time, your wallet can go, and it is my understanding too, I've never had one, can go and claim that those funds from the stream wallet.
Okay, I see. Thanks. But yeah, I agree with you that maybe getting a little bit of social cred could help over time. But yeah, we'll see how this prop goes, and I'm gonna remanage on my end. And
Yeah.
I'm still gonna continue creating some content for TLNS, like not a whole content brand, but at least have some mock-ups and first versions of the templates going on in the next month. If it doesn't pass it, if it does, it's gonna be in less than a week.
Yeah, but it's also like, if we're not going to put up prop house rounds, like how are we allowing people to like get social credit, So yeah, I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like we're not doing ourselves any justice by not having prop house rounds.
Well, I mean, we'll see. Maybe we'll put up another prop for that, but anybody's welcome to write a prop house round props. Like SQX and I did the last couple. We could do it again, but we can't do it for free again.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to.
But if somebody else wants to do it for free, like step up. And we even dissolved that wallet, so like we wouldn't even have a prop house wallet. We'd have to like set up a new multi-sig, get the funds transferred, or maybe they could be transferred directly to the prop house, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, you have to go through all the motions again, get it sponsored or get it proposed and passed and funded.
Yeah, I just think that it's really important, like evergreen content, right? And again, it's like I've been keeping track of that Nouns X everyone stats, right? And it was like from January when it opened to whatever, May 1st or whatever when it closed, those videos had garnered whatever, like 179,000 cumulative ones. And in the last 9 months, just organically, naturally, right? Because there's no money on the line, no one's botting anything right now. It's literally organic traffic. It's garnered over 100,000 additional views, those videos. And they're just going to keep getting more views, right? So it's like having them on platforms like that is really important, and I don't think people realize that. So like these clips could easily have a YouTube channel. Little Noun Show could have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of effort to run all these different things, so Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Drew, anything else you want to say about your prop before we wrap it up? The ship is literally coming up on the shore. We're about to hop off and raid the beach.
Nothing specific to add, but thanks for the support and the feedback.
Yeah, man, for sure. I voted. So good luck. We'll see what the community has to say. Vix, go vote yes. It's the last thing. Who's got the outro here? I don't know how to play it. I'll end up playing drum and bass.
I can take care of it if we're all ready to wrap up.
Did you guys talk to Nounsel about your art program prop?
We'll go on tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, because did you guys see the Mucho Love prop went up? And that one's already starting to get votes in from Nounsel.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say something important about that move.
Oh, he dropped off. Okay.
I thought that was you kicking him, or the Starlink. So his neighbor kicked him off the Starlink.
This neighbor found it. Shut
That
up.
was epic timing.
Definitely wasn't me. All right.
Anyway, yeah.
Take us
you
home,
go.
Indy.
No, you go. I don't know
Indy.
what I'm doing.
Take us home. Play the
You
outro.
got it. All right. Thanks for tuning in. That's pirate edition of Let's Play Nouns. I'm calling it Let's Play Nouns, even though the screen says Little Nouns. We're moving on.
Bro, we just hit the beach. Just go crazy.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see maybe next week. Maybe in the future, we'll come back with Panda. We'll see.